A very good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss our topic from Unit 3 Statistics Collection of Primary and Secondary Data. Okay, today we are going to start with a very interesting concept. What is a population and what is a sample? Okay, so let's talk about population first. Population is inclusion of all the items in a statistical inquiry when all the items are considered. And sample is when only few items are representing the entire population, that is a sample. So I will take an example here. If 343 women are surveyed in US and they were surveyed for their online transactions, do they order online or not? If 194 women said yes and 149 women say no. So this is, I have selected a sample of 343 women out of the entire women population of US. And what is the entire population? All the women who are there in US. And what is my sample? My sample is these 343 women out of the entire population. Okay, so you see at the bottom, population is all the women in US and sample is 343 women, those who are surveyed. So what are the characteristics of population? They are known as parameter, and whatever are the characteristics of a sample, they are known as statistics. So we will move towards the methods of sampling. How do we collect the data? How do we select a sample out of the entire population? So methods of sampling, there is a random sampling techniques we will discuss first of all, and the first technique is simple random sampling. So what happens in simple random sampling? Out of the entire population that is there, we take a sample and we take a sample on select the sample on the basis of simple random technique. What does it mean? It means that all the units in the population have equal chances of selection. I can select any of the unit of population for my sample. There is no discrimination, no human judgment. It is a scientific procedure of obtaining sample from the population. It depends on the probability. So how does this happen? When all the units, all the items in the population have equal chance of selection, how does it happen? We use the methods like if we give numbers to the entire population. If the 90 members are there in the population and we give numbers to them, what will happen? We put their names, we put these numbers on the different slips, and then we select a slip out of this entire 90 slips. Each member has the equal chances of selection. Now if you see through this method, it can be called as lottery method. This first method. Second method can be if we can use a computer to get the random numbers. The computer will select the random numbers. Next is, you can use a table of random numbers. This is a table of random numbers if you see, and you can use this to get to select the sample from the population under simple random sampling. So these are the Tippett numbers. Now this is very scientific method. this is the merit, and it is the representative. The population is representative of the entire, the sample is representative of the entire population, and this is time saving. And the sampling errors, they can be measured under this. So what do we require? What are the demerits? We need a complete list of population, only then we can get sample. If the size of sample is small, then it will not be representative of the population, and the distribution between the item is very large. The method cannot be used, and the numbering of units and the preparation of the slip is time consuming, and sometimes the population is very large, so might not be possible to use this particular idea, which is of lottery method. Okay, where we are giving numbers and we are using a bowl to have all these slips, and then we draw one by one after shaking it. Next method is stratified sampling. So what happens under the stratified random sampling? We create the subgroups. Okay, we create the subgroups. The universe or population is divided into some homogeneous groups, and then a sample is drawn from each group. Like this is the category 1, category 2, subgroup 3. These are the 3 different ways in which our population is divided. Okay, and from these group we select equal number of samples. So population in this method, what happens? For example, if we want to know the pocket money or income of students, let's say income of people, we divide them into the subcategories like this. Those who are in the age group of 20s, what is their income or saving, then 30s, 40s, 50s, we have divided into the subgroups, and then we are using random sampling technique to get the sample from each group. Equal number of samples are taken from each group. This is what is done, and a random sample from each subgroup is taken, and then we have got our sample on the very right. Next is after this stratified random sampling, we need to understand that the samples which are taken from these subgroups, they have some common characteristics between themselves. Okay, like the first subgroup only 20s people are there, second subgroup, so this is some different items are taken from these. So at times there are some merits of this. It ensures that we include some items which are more representative of the population. The sample is more representative of the population, and it is very easy if we can subdivide the groups. It is easy to divide them. It gives accuracy, and some these are some of the merits. And what are the demerits? Sometimes we get the sample, and sometimes it is not important for our study that we follow this method. So it is very important to understand what study we are conducting. On the basis of that, we decide the method of sampling. Next is cluster sampling or multi-stage sampling. Okay, here what we do, here this is the population which is given to us, and population is then divided into different if you see, clusters are there. Okay, divided into different clusters. So this is the clusters, and then we use randomly we select the 2-3 clusters out of the entire population which is divided into clusters. Randomly we take these, and this is our sample. So Why do we use it? Sometimes the area is very large, so we use this method. How do we apply this method? For example, this is a particular area where we want to know the businesses, small businesses, how many small businesses are there. So what do? We divide the area. This is different time zones are there, so accordingly we divide it into time zones, the clusters. And these zones, if you see, out of all the zones we randomly select 3 zones. But what happens at times, this is not the representative of the population, the entire population. The sample, the data we get from the sample is not representing the population. This is something which is there. And what are the problems with this method? Because it is not representative. And why do we follow this method? When the population is very, very large, very large scale surveys are done, then we use this method. So what is the difference between cluster and stratified sampling? The difference is the cluster sampling is more representative, if you see, because we have divided our data into our population into subgroups according to some homogeneous characteristics, and when we select a random sampling, we select from each cluster. So that is more representative, the sample. But here in stratified, this is not that representative. Okay, so because we are selecting the entire strata randomly, so not that representative of the population. Last is the systematic method that we follow. Systematic sampling or quasi-random sampling is also given its name. It is more simple, more convenient. Here what we do, we assign a number to every member and we select first number randomly. Any n number is selected randomly. Okay, so what happen after that? Select sample member at regular intervals. After that, we select the next number. Let's see how it done. How many people are spending their time on watching, for example, Netflix? Okay, so what we do, we need 50 number sample. We have 1000 population. Okay, so what do? We first select a random number. We select a number 234. Now after selecting this random number, what is our population? Our population is 1000. What is our sample? 50. So what should be the interval? 20. 1000 divided by 50. So 20 is the interval. Regular interval, we select the sample. Okay, so after 234 we will select the number 254, 274 and so on, and we will select the 50 members. In this way the systematic sampling is done. So it is very easy, and in this method we can really get satisfactory results. But what are the demerits? First number is selected randomly, but after that the random technique is not used. It is possible to do this only when the data is systematically arranged. If the arrangement is in a wrong manner, then what will happen? Our results can be misleading. So this is main idea. Next is sampling errors occurs because there is a difference between the results of sample and that of a population. So that is possible in all the cases. Then I would like to also add here about the convenience sampling. Okay, convenience sampling is what? It is the method where the investigator can select the sample on the basis of his convenience. Okay, so for example, if there is an investigator, he wants to conduct a study on these schools, some study on these schools. Okay, what he will do, according to his convenience, he will only go and collect the sample from the schools which is near to his house. Correct. So that is convenience. And this is a non-random sampling technique. This is not random. The others we discussed right now, they were all the random sampling techniques, whether it was simple random, whether it was stratify, systematic, or cluster. But what do we do here? Here there is no random sampling involved. It is a non-random sampling method. Sometimes judgment sampling is also there, or quota sampling is also there. Judgment is in this system, the investigator uses his own his experience, okay, his knowledge about the population, and accordingly he will select the data. And what about the quota sampling? It is also a method of non-random sampling. In this, what happened, the interviewers are allotted definite quotas of the universe, and they are required to interview a certain number from their quotas decided on the basis of some proportion of persons in various categories. So that is also done. For example, कोटा आप उस केस में देख सकते हैं, इफ़ यू सी द मिडल, लोअर इनकम ग्रुप्स और अपर इनकम ग्रुप्स. So that is, for example, a study is being conducted. So this is the way quotas are defined. And then also, if a study is done on schools, like schools in Delhi, 10, so what are the quota? The investigators are allotted quotas of say 10 schools, each out of which 2 should be public, and the rest should be the boys school, girls school, senior secondary, girls, boys, co-educational. So these are the quotas in which the decision is being taken by the investigator. This is not random. This is the basis is quota sampling. So we are able to cover a few things here. I hope you have understood. Thank you, class.